Trajan Langdon, Piston president, basketball ops, he spoke yesterday. He's very measured, reasonable.
He just seems so smart. I mean, there's a lot of...
Look,
that's perception, but...
There's a couple words in there that may trigger some people. Sustained success and patience. Oh, it's going to be a boring offseason for the Pistons. They're not going to strike while the iron's hot. Look how wide open the East is. I didn't get that impression.
No, because he said expectations changed.
He acknowledged that expectations changed. He did say if they were going to add like an all-star caliber player, it would be via a trade, and he stressed just as a hypothetical. But I think he has a pretty good grasp of what he's doing, and I think this offseason couldn't be more important for the Pistons. Supporting Cade Cunningham. If you believe that's Ivy and a full year of Asar and Duren developing a jumper, there's a case to keep your own. I'm not going to fly off the handle and trade for Zion. I think that would be reckless and stupid. The guy never plays basketball.
Yeah.
But there are names out there that will be bantied about, and I think it's fair to discuss. Stoney, you had some names before we get back to the calls?
Yes. Gershon Yabusele from France. You remember him in the Olympics? He was great for France playing with Wembanyama. Free agent, played this year in Philly. I mean, he started his career in Boston, didn't do much, and went back to Europe. So came over to Philly, 14 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, shoots 38% from three. He's 29 years old, free agent, and he's not going to be an expensive player, okay? Here's another one, John Collins.
Okay, bounce around. He's a dunker.
Utah Jazz, shot 40% from three.
Yeah.
Okay, averaged 19, 8, and 2.
Very gettable.
Okay, he's on the last year of his contract. It's $26.5 million a year.
This is not a guy you'd be giving up multiple key young people
He's
for.
27 years old. And then, of course, everybody wants Sabonis. So
Yeah.
Sabonis, 29 years old, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, shot over 41% from three.
He doesn't do it at volume, but he can. You have to respect his three-point shot.
The problem is he's got 3 years left starting next year at 43, 46, and 49 a year. It's a lot of...
But that's the going rate for an all-star big who can shoot.
I know.
I know. I wouldn't bristle at that.
No, look, if you got into a situation where they were worried about a luxury tax, say what you want. I think this owner will write that check.
I absolutely agree with you. Let's get to John in St. Clair Shores. John, what's up?
Who has another name that I was going to mention, but that's why I didn't.
I'm sorry. Let me get you off of. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
John, you got a name. We held off. Stoney wanted you to make this pitch.
Yeah, I wanted to say Nas Reed of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I believe he has a player option this year.
Yeah,
I believe he's in his mid-20s, and he has been behind Rudy Gobert and Anthony Towns the year before, and then this year he was behind Julius Randle and Gobert.
Yeah,
so when he gets his minutes, he can hit the three.
Yep. And
I know that's what Stoney wants.
Yeah, and look, he shoots 38% from the three this year, 14 points a game. He comes off the bench. He's 6'9". He's that type of. That's exactly, you're right. That's what I want. A big guy who can space the floor and shoot from the outside.
And can defend a little bit. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. It's like out of a lab for what this team's missing. This has come up a lot on the ticket text. That's a sharp phone call to point him out. With the player option, the argument is he'd opt out to get a big payday.
Right.
Yes, and then that's how you get him.
Mm-hmm.
Ticket texter says, Duren ain't going anywhere. Keep dreaming.
Okay, give me the rationale of not even thinking about trading Jalen Duren. I don't say you have to.
No.
But in today's NBA, don't you need a big guy who can shoot from outside 5 feet?
Yes.
There's no world where you can pay him and Thompson. Is there?
Forget pay. How about play? You want to win an NBA championship, not have a feisty first-round series. You want to win late game. You can't have two non-shooters. I don't care how good they are defensively. And between the two, Thompson, I think, is the one you'd pick. So you need
plus
to
you don't have to pay him for longer.
Yeah, he's cheaper longer. But we're going to run into this. You have to give to get.
Yeah.
Sort of, you've done this way longer than I have. It drives me up a wall. We have good players here. Do you want great players? You have to give up good players. Pick one or two that you aren't married to. I'm not moving Cade, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to pick Asar because of the defense and the perimeter and all that stuff. That means I have to give somebody.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe the answer is give up nobody and you have the greatest team assembled and just wait and see.
Look, if they bring back, Duren or don't use him in a trade, I get it. He's a good player.
Stoney.
But your point is correct. When you have people who are good and you want to be great, you can't just
Sacrifice.
get every free agent.
How about the Knicks? Do you know who helped close out the game last night with 14 fourth-quarter points and a key stop? Mikal Bridges?
Yes. He did nothing for 3 quarters, but he came through.
Did they draft and develop him? They gave up 5 first-round picks. Now, you could say that's too much, but the Knicks have been aggressive. They added Bridges. They added Towns. They're up 2-0 going home now against the Boston Celtics. What offseason do you want to have?
I know.
Do you want to have an offseason that pushes in the East that's wide open? Or do you have an offseason where you say, I hope everybody's healthy and they get better in the daycare, everybody all grows up and we win?
Look, you have to be able to make tough decisions and trade good players to get better in your mind. And whether or not that player is popular. I know I'm going to go back in time here, but Gov, you were there with us? When Jerry Stackhouse got traded for Rip Hamilton, a lot of people were pissed. Because people loved Jerry Stackhouse. But you know what? They wouldn't have won a championship without Rip Hamilton.
You're right.
Because the plan was probably go to Chauncey the next year. We didn't know that at the time. And Stack ended up having some solid years after he left here. He went to the finals with the Mavericks.
And, good player.
Look, people have to realize you can't pay 2 people that can't score in the NBA. So one of these guys is going somewhere or he's walking in free agency. There's no world where you pay both of them.
Unless you actually think that in the offseason, Asar Thompson is going to develop an outside shot.
Well, why didn't Ivy last year? See, that's why. Duren.
Yes.
Right.
Why didn't Duren last year?
I don't know. It's probably not his skill set.
Well, take it.
Right, exactly. That's our point.
So this one says, why can't he develop a shot? Good free throw shooter. That's predictive of good shooting in the NBA.
Okay.
But he has to.
Yes.
You got to realize, fine, maybe he does. We're living in the real world right now where this most likely isn't going to happen.
Correct. And you have to plan for it. Phone calls. Steve in New Baltimore. Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. Cookies, fire up chips as usual. A name that I am interested in for the Pistons, the situation to at least monitor in Memphis. Jaren Jackson Jr., last year of his deal, do we think Memphis is going to add another $200 million contracts with Morant and Bane? Former defensive player of the year, big man that can shoot.
He'd be a dream.
I don't know what
block
it would
shots.
cost. Yeah, right. Given the contract, I don't know what it would cost, but man, he'd be a perfect Piston.
Well,
I'd give him 3 players besides Cade, and they can pick their 3 players and at least 2 number ones.
Yeah, I'd say a combination 5. Add up to 5 picks and young players. You want 3 firsts and 2 young players, but I'd do that.
Yes.
Even with no.
No. There's an extension coming. There's an extension coming.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it without an extension.
You're right.
Okay. Yeah. Right. That makes more sense.
But he is a perfect complement, right?
Yeah.
He's athletic. He can defend the rim, move his feet, defend in space. A big who can shoot, finish. And Tom Izzo's not coaching, so he won't get benched for Ben Carter. Let's get to Bobby. Good morning. That's an old bit.
I know.
Good morning,
Bobby,
gentlemen.
what's up?
No on Zion and hell no on Duren. Stop that, man. We already a smallish team. So you saying Stewart is going to hold the fort? And this thing about him not being able to shoot, what about Turner for Indiana? He was a bum, pretty much. They were going to get rid of him. Okay, so now he can shoot. We're talking about a 20-year-old you want to get rid of that can give you 15
See, why is that the narrative, Bobby? We're not. Hold on. Why is that the narrative? We're not packing his bags. We're saying if you're getting a better player.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
We do have Mobley at Cleveland, right? We also have an Indiana team that's very good. So you're saying that we're going to be able to compete without Duren? We're already down to 1 center.
Let me ask
leave the center position
Bobby.
alone.
Bobby.
You guys are
Bobby.
Good. Go ahead.
We're talking about putting him in a deal. Who would you rather have, Jalen Duren or Sabonis?
Oh, okay. If that in that scenario, yeah, but you don't just get rid of.
No. Nobody's saying just toss him. He'd be part of a deal to get a
Bobby,
great player. That's all we're
Bobby,
saying.
I'm not trying to fight with you about it. Yeah, it's a misunderstanding. It happens. Miles Turner was shooting threes by his second year in the league. Mobley shoots threes. If you're going to be a big in this league, you got to shoot. You got to shoot from deep. At least a mid-range jumper for Duren.
Right.
If you don't have it, you're expendable. That doesn't mean we're getting your bags and packing them and driving you to the airport and getting you through whether you have a real ID or not. We're not going through that with him. I'm just saying you have to give to get. If we're looking to get much better and really go for the Eastern Conference, he's a piece I would be willing to trade.
Yes. Nobody's saying, pack your bags, get out of here.
No. People have a hard time with this, though. We fall in love with our guys.
Oh, I know.
And this team was really likable.
This happens in a lot of cities, too. It's not just us.
I don't mean to say it's unique
No,
to Detroit,
I know,
but we live here and we see it, and we deal with it with what we do maybe more than most people. 248-539-9797. Hey, heads up. 97 won the ticket, and Detroit Pal have this combine going on, a junior NFL-style combine. You're going to want to sign up for it. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders will have a chance to compete in an NFL-style combine. They can show off their skills, 40-yard dash, vertical jump, broad jump, 3-cone drill, pro agility, and more. The event is open to all boys and girls, 5th through 8th grade, who play any sports. You want to register early by May 16th for the $50 early bird registration. Afterwards, price goes up to $75. You can get more information, 971theticket.com. We have Dear John coming up next, but without John Jansen, we get life advice from Stoney.
Oy.
What could go wrong? It's 97.1.